Alrighty guys, this is Zach and Grayson with Dream Media Home Theater. I have Carl, George, and Johan out here with KEF, and we are about to tour the manufacturing facilities for the high-end KEF speakers, the Blades, the Muins, and the reference speakers. It's gonna be exciting. You guys ready to get this party started?
Come on in.
Oh my god, so many pretty speakers. More speakers! You start at the far end before you start.
Alrighty, Johan's gonna walk us through the entire manufacturing process of these beautiful speakers that we have here.
Well, I'll try and keep it short and sweet and as a decent synopsis of what goes on. Welcome to the KEF high-end boutique factory, our production line. Production line is actually the wrong term to use because this differs from a standard production line. On a standard production line, you'll have a load of people, the product will move along and various people perform different functions, and at the end of the production line, out comes a finished product. This is different. Everything has to start with here, which is basically the sub-assembly section. Speakers have components. So one of the most important components is the dividing network, the crossover. So all the components are actually hand assembled onto the completed crossovers, and they're pre-measured, just like our drive units. So this massive kind of tomb here is a controlled environment for putting in our very best blade UniQ, and everything is fastidiously pre-measured against the absolute, which George showed earlier on. What happens is once all these things have happened, we then move on to assembly. And one man builds one pair. We can see here at the moment, one guy builds completed a pair of loudspeakers. Here we have some white blades being prepared, and it's actually a highly skillful job. All the components are issued to the builder, who is responsible for building each loudspeaker. Then each loudspeaker, each completed loudspeaker, is measured against the absolute at the end of the process. Any little anomalies can spell disaster. So everything's got to fit properly. There's a lot of pressure in the box, particularly when you say play them loud. You could have air leaks or gaps, which would affect the frequency response. So this is not just a question of you're good with your hands. It takes a while these guys are all highly skilled at what they're doing. Also working in very confined spaces of soldering and putting things in place. Not much room to work.
Wow, that is tight. Holy cow.
I don't know, let's ask him. How long does it take to build one blade?
One blade, probably say about 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours for one blade, but actually the blade is not the hardest speaker to make. Probably the reference 1, isn't it?
The hardest I'd probably say was the 5.
Reference 5, the bigger reference 5. Because
that's interesting. Why is that?
It's just limited space inside and takes a lot longer. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, having done that, of course, in the high season, it's cell production, if you like. various cells. We could probably got a couple of people on holiday, but as you see there we got blades, and these are also big blades. No, these twos or ones? Ones, blade ones. Well, yeah, these are the big ones, the big boys. We can actually, I mean, the standard finishes are, by the way, on the finishing, this finish has to be perfect. And all our guys are trained in proper furniture finishing, because a customer, it'd be unacceptable to have any anomalies. Same goes for the reference cabinets here, which are fastidiously checked before. So the lacquering process takes place at a very specialist lacquering place in London, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, near London. And the idea of piano finish, if you can see the reflection of my hand, it's particularly hard on a flat surface. It's like a mirror. There's a lot of products with poorer finish where it's kind of like an orange peel ripple effect. That is very tough to do and to get absolutely consistent. But that's what the customer demands.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is Graham.
Hi, Graham. How are you?
This is Graham,
Zach.
who's been here almost as long as me.
Yeah.
And as you can see, this is the test area. So, over to Graham.
Okay. So inside here you have two microphones. You have far field, which does your MF HF response, and your near field, which will do your LF response.
So this is like just another version of what you guys have in the other building, but this is specifically designed for...
Theirs is more specialised because they
This
do the
is here.
research. No, theirs.
Oh, theirs
Because
is.
they do the research.
I see.
Theirs has got to be.
But this is specifically designed
Yes,
for...
for the line.
I see.
For line building.
That's pretty cool. What are the little copper strings hanging for?
The what? Sorry.
These little copper strings.
Oh, that's we used to do a different range of speakers. So we used to wheel them because they were so big. We used to wheel them in.
I see.
And we do a CI one, which has to be in a box, which is laid down, which is what that microphone is for at the top.
Cool.
Just about see it.
Yeah, I see it.
So I switched the microphones over when we test that because it has to be in a box laying down flat because it's a wall speaker, not a freestanding speaker.
Cool. Thank you for showing us that.
That's alright. So, do you want me to carry on?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we build a range of speakers, the lab will build two speakers. They will build a lab standard and a line standard. The lab keep the lab standard, we keep the line standard, and every speaker that we build is then tested against that one. So that gets loaded into the system and every speaker will be tested against that.
I see.
So this is a blade one. So when the speaker comes down, before it actually goes in the chamber, we'll do a sweep test on it. So you can tell just by listening, or me, I can tell by listening to that it's all wired up properly because it's all nice and smooth up and down.
It's hitting all of your...
You can also check for air leaks because the amount of bass that's being pushed around inside, you'll hear a noise coming out if there's
Especially when you do it all day, huh?
Yes, yeah, you do get used to it. So once I'm happy with that, I'll put it into the chamber. I've already loaded the reference. So that's a faster version of that sweep that I just did.
This one's good, boys. Go ahead and place your order.
So what you've got here, this is the electrical impedance of the crossovers. This is your LF bass response, and this is your MF HF response. And the dots are 0.5D limits each
It's got
way.
to fall within the line has got to fall within that very strict parameter.
So, say for instance, there was no HF, you would end up with a drop off here, and then I would tell them what's wrong with it. It would go back, be taken apart, refixed, come back down here, be retested.
So the bottom line is it's a very laborious process. So what's in it for the customer? If you buy reference blades, muons, it is the ultimate in pair matching. So you can be assured that the specification is on the money. It's like a very finely tuned sports car, let's say. Obviously, with our less expensive products, which are more of a standard production line, we do try to shoehorn as much of this methodology as possible. The parameters move out slightly, but it's still pretty damn good. This was a process which was invented by our founder, Raymond Cook, and his team way back in the 70s, and is pretty unique in the world today.
And what do we have here? Grayson, go ahead and give that a lift.
This is from a former model.
I could get it going.
This is madness.
Yeah, you can tell by Grayson's ripped muscles. He works
This is
18 inches?
this was actually the driver was hand put together by one guy. This was from a crazy subwoofer which we used to do. It's absolute madness.
Yeah.
Just look at the size of the voice coil. It's madness.
We like madness at Dream Media.
One standard still.
Wow.
Monster.
So now, finally, Graham. Finally, as I was saying, of course, when the cabinets come in and the polishing's done, sometimes there are slight anomalies. So, particularly people like Graham are trained, professionally trained in furniture finishes. Any little anomalies pulled out, and then finally, if it's wrong, it's this guy's fault.
Cheers.
Wow, that's not a good job, Dad. It's like me.
No pressure.
We do anything wrong.
We get blown for it.
This is final packing.
Packing, inspection and cleaning.
So how's this one doing?
It's alright, that one's just been tested, so it's just going to be cleaned, videoed, because we video each speaker.
Nice.
So we've got a record.
Before
In case something happens and
And it's
shipping.
all linked by serial number.
It
as
came
well.
it came dented, so if we got video proof, then we cover ourselves.
I
basically.
see.
So
we
it's
can,
safe and
so it's
sorry.
all completely checkable.
That actually happened to us the other day on one of the woofers.
Yeah, it's particularly toddlers. It's like a
Yeah.
magpie. Or
We had, we had a pair of Blade 2 red in Harrods, and they were on demo, and they come back and right surface of the moon. where
Oh yeah,
they've
we'll see
been
it right when we unbox it.
pushing
The kid will
and
come up
prodding.
and
Oh, immediately the kids love to
It's only in
destroy expensive speakers.
aluminium, so just doing that on it would dent it. So.
yeah.
Every single one of our high-end products comes with its own certificate. It's fully traceable by serial number, so we can see what grade of components have been used, how it's been pair matched, what the response was, should anything go wrong. Obviously sometimes things does. We would replace, say, a driver with a reference grade drive unit or component, so it's back to absolute perfect. It's control all the way through the process, and it goes right back to the beginning. These archives.
You can tell
Awesome.
who worked on it.
Yeah.
It's his fault. Or his.
Just one last point. Been going through about all the care and attention to the finishing of the gloss finishes. One of the most difficult things to do, and it's really trendy. You know these stealth BMWs, the matte. Well, we do it the blade in the matte finish. This is really hard to get right. really, really hard. So we do this in matte black or kind of matte electric blue.
We need a couple of those.
In fact, we can do absolutely bespoke, absolutely made to order. We have done for clients where they say, we had a California winery guy who said, I want my blade in the exact color of my signature wine. So we can do, but there will be an upcharge and a waiting time.
That's an old demo.
Hey, if you guys think we need these in our my house, comment down below.
We're the company.
Company expense. I am moving at the end of this month.
You guys don't do this one anymore.
Yeah,
You still do this color?
yeah, we still do.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
very popular.
I've seen them in the other.
Beautiful.
I haven't seen them in the blades.
Very popular. Okay, guys, last but not least, remember when you came in and showed you the muon? Well, this muon is rather special in here. This is the very, very first pair of muons. The clever eye will notice, if you look at the muons, the production muons, it's seamless. But this is the seam running down. In fact, it's like two halves of a clamshell. And this was the very original pair. On production muons, this is all welded and polished out, which takes a lot of elbow grease. It really does.
I'm sure.
So this is the very original pair which stay here. Muon, by the way, has changed. We've now got Muon Mark II. If we look at this is the original Unique from the Muon. The original Unique. But we made a better Unique for blade. And can you imagine if you own a pair of these and we've put the better Unique in now, but it's a question of changing the whole design. How would you feel if there's suddenly a Mark II out? Well, worry not, because any owner of a Mark I blade, there is a program where an engineer will fly anywhere in the world and do the rebuild, total system rebuild, turn them into a Mark II for about $12,000, something like $10,000 to $12,000 anywhere in the world, which at this level is pocket money, pocket change.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome.
It's all about customer service.
Yeah.
Very nice. Maybe there are aliens in here. All right, guys. Well, that was extremely informative. I thought I learned a lot about the KEF brand and how much attention to detail that you guys put into this product. They're not messing around here. You get what you pay for. Well, this was a great experience. We hope that you guys liked it and found it informative in helping you make a buying decision on purchasing your next set of KEF speakers.
There you go. I think it's lunchtime. Oh no, we've got the engineers to see. Now for the rocket science.
Awesome. Well, I hope you guys found this informative. If you'd like to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe down below for more. This is Zach and Grayson over here in Europe at Maidstone. Thank you for watching.